Let us see some tasks to understand the usage of query capabilities in MongoDB. We'll start with find completed orders and then we'll actually go through 5 more so that we understand different aspects of querying documents from the Mongo collections. In this case, I have already launched Mongo. I can say use retail to switch to retail database and then show collections to list the collections. We have orders and order items here. We can actually say db.orders.find. To get completed orders, I just have to say order status complete. And then we can say pretty to read the data in readable format or to get the data in readable format. You can see here we got only the complete orders. One of the way to perform the sanity check is to run count after running these queries. It will actually ensure whether the data is filtered properly or not. And now we can see that there are 22,899 completed orders in our orders collection. As we have performed the first task, now let us look at the second task. It says find all orders for the month of 2014 January. So for that, first we will actually preview one record by saying db.orders.find1. You can see we have 4 business fields: order ID, order date, order customer ID, order status on top of underscore ID, which is nothing but a system generated unique ID. Now I want to get orders that are placed in 2014 January. So we just have to compare this part of this date with 2014-01 and then we'll be able to get orders placed on 2014 January. When we have to compare with partial values, we can use regular expressions as part of MongoDB queries. So here I can say db.orders find order date and then we can start regular expression like this. As we want to compare first 7 characters with 2014-01, we can say shift 6, which will give us that cap character, and then 2014-01, and we have to close this scope by using another forward slash, and then we can actually run the query like this. Let's use pretty so that we can actually see the data in readable format. You can see that all the order dates of these documents which are returned contain 2014-01, which is nothing but 2014 January. Again, you can perform the count to get the number of records or number of orders that are placed in 2014 January. There are 5,908 documents which match this criteria. Now the next task is to find completed orders for the month of 2014 January. So here we need to use Boolean AND. We need to compare against 2014-01 with respect to order date, and we need to compare order status against complete. Then we'll get those orders which are completed in state and placed on 2014 January month. So the way you can write the query is like this: db.orders find. When it comes to writing Boolean AND, we just have to add more and more conditions using comma. So first we can actually say order status complete. This is one condition. Now I want to add another condition, which is nothing but this one, order date, which starts with 2014-01. We just have to say comma for the first condition, and then we can add the second condition like this, and then we should be able to close this curly and circular bracket and say pretty like this. Now you see all the orders which are returned have status as complete and order date as 2014 January 1st or whatever date it is from 2014 January. Again, we can perform the count. Earlier for 2014 January we got 5,908 records. Now the number should be lesser. You can see here we got only 1,911 orders. So out of 5,000 odd orders, only 1,911 orders are in complete state for the month of 2014 January. Now the next task is to find complete or closed orders for the month of 2014 January. Here we need to use both Boolean AND as well as OR. When it comes to comparing order status with complete as well as closed, we have to use Boolean OR. To get data only for 2014 January, we have to use Boolean AND. So let's get into the demonstration here. We can say db.orders.find. First we will start with order date. We have to specify 2014 January like this, and we have to close this forward slash, which is nothing but closing the regular expression. Once we do this, we have to say comma here, and then we have to use OR operator. As part of the OR operator, we can actually pass multiple conditions, and hence we will be passing all those conditions as list. For that reason, we have to use open square bracket like this. And then here you can specify as many conditions as you want as list of documents in this square brackets. So the first condition is order status is complete, and the second condition is order status closed. and then we have to close this square bracket for or, and then we have to close the curly brace and circular brace for find and hit enter. We can actually say pretty to read the data in readable format, and now we can see that we got complete as well as closed orders for 2014 January. We can actually do the count to make sure that we get a different number when we use both complete as well as closed for the month of 2014 January. You can see there are 2544 documents with respect to orders which are placed in 2014 January and in complete or closed state. Earlier, when we actually check for 2014 January and complete state, we got only 1911 documents, which means our sanity check seems to be correct. As we are able to get 2014 January orders which are in complete or closed status using Boolean and Boolean or operators, now let us perform the same task using Boolean and between order date and then in operator for order status in complete or closed. So when we want to compare one field with multiple values, it is better to use in operator over Boolean or. Let's see how we can accomplish it using Boolean and between order date and then the in operator against order status for closed and complete values. So here I can say db.orders.find. Let's start with open curly brace, and the first condition is nothing but order date. We have to give the regular expression here for 2014 January. Once we close the regular expression, then we can say order status. So when we want to use in operator, we have to specify the field against which we want to perform the in operation. And then we have to pass a nested document. That nested document key has to be in operator like this. And then we can pass as many values as we want to compare as a list using square brackets like this. In this square bracket, we have to pass the values which are nothing but complete, comma, closed. So in this case, it will compare order status with complete or closed. If order status is in complete or closed, then only those orders will be returned. Otherwise, they will be discarded. Now we can close the curly brace as well as circular brace for find, and then say pretty to preview the data. We can see the orders which are placed in 2014 January and either in complete or closed status. We can validate using count. It should return to 2544 as it was written earlier, and you can see that 2544 here. That being said, the final task as part of this demo is to find complete orders, and we want to project only order ID, order date and order status. As we don't want to project underscore ID, it has to be disabled. We should not project underscore ID also. So if I just say db.orders.find and if I specify order status like this and say complete, it get all the fields from orders. We can say .pretty to get the data in readable format. However, I want to display only order ID, order date and order status. I don't want to display underscore ID or order customer ID. So when it comes to projection, I just want to project order ID, order date and order status. There are a couple of ways to achieve that. Let's explore both the options. First, I'm saying db.orders.find, and then first we have to pass the query condition, which is nothing but order status complete. You can have as much complicated query as you want depending upon your requirement, but in our case the query is very simple. We just want to get complete orders, and hence this suffice. Once we are done with the query, now we have to specify comma and again specify curly brace to project. So if you don't want to display underscore ID and order customer ID, then you just have to say underscore ID 0 and order customer ID 0. It will skip underscore ID and order customer ID, and it will display order ID, order date, order status from this documents which satisfy the condition order status complete. So here we can hit enter and close the circular bracket and then say pretty to see the order ID, order date and order status for complete status. You see, now we got only order ID, order date and order status. This is one approach, and the other approach is to specify what fields you want to display. We have already seen that, we are reiterating that here. So again I am using find and then order status complete. Let's conclude the query. Now we are going to project. As part of the projection, I want to see order ID. Whatever fields we want to project, if we want to explicitly mention, then we have to set to 1. And then we can say order date 1, order status 1. However, it will also display underscore ID. For underscore ID, we have to set it to 0 so that it is not displayed. And hence we have to say underscore ID 0 here. Close the curly brace for the projection and then close the circular bracket for find and hit enter. You can say pretty to get the data in readable format. Now you see we got only order ID, order date and order status. That being said, as we are done with performing this task to understand the query capabilities within MongoDB, now it is time for the exercises. I have given 3 exercises. One is to get number of records from order items. Second one is to get documents for given order item order ID from order items. Third one is to get documents for given order item order ID from order items and sort by order item subtotal. I haven't covered this, but you should be able to figure it out. It's not a big deal. As we are done with basic querying capabilities within MongoDB using find, now let us talk about aggregation framework overview and we will take it from there.